What's up, Crowdfunding Nation? Salvador Briggman here, the host of the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. And today we have a very exciting interview for anyone out there who's been looking to build a new product, get that invention out there for a technology gadget or gizmo. You're wondering, how the heck can I use crowdfunding to do that? We talked with a creator who was able to raise over $500,000 on Indiegogo. And we're going to be talking a bit about inside baseball when it comes to Indiegogo versus Kickstarter, the story behind this project, and also what worked well for this creator when it comes to being able to be funded instantly with their project. So we talk about this and this topic a lot on the show. I love to go into different campaigns and really understand the brass tacks of not only how were they able to get funded, and also how they're able to grow a business from scratch. We have so many first-time creators that have come on this podcast, even people who have listened to this show and come back as a guest. I think it's really inspiring. And it's one of the reasons why I started this podcast back in 2015, why I got into the crowdfunding industry back in 2012, was to pioneer and to put out free, high-quality education just like this for creators, because I didn't think that their platforms were doing a great job. I didn't think there was a lot of good information out there in the industry. And that's why I also have my YouTube channel under my name, Salvador Briggman. I have my blog, crowdcrux.com. We have my online forum, kickstarterforum.org. It's more than 10,000 members. Facebook group as well, more than 10,000 members. It's really because we want to put education at the forefront when it comes to doing this. And if you really believe in this mission and you want to just kind of get to the finish line a little bit faster, and you want to go beyond just the stories and the inspiration and the tips and the advice and the nuggets of gold that we share on the show, and you really want to learn, like, what the frick is the actual blueprint behind this? Tell me, Sal, give me the roadmap, right, to launch one of these suckers. I got a great book out there for you, which I've entitled The Kickstarter Launch Formula. Now, I've put some of my best hard-won wisdom into this sucker, and I'm going beyond just the principles and the tactics, but really what do you have to do from a tools-based standpoint? What do you have to do every step of the way going into a launch? If you really want to understand the paint by numbers formula that goes into a smash success, you got to get your hands on a copy of the Kickstarter Launch Formula. Now that is available via Audible, and you can download a free audio version. Listen to me as you're going out there jogging, if you're cleaning your room or you're doing the dishes, you can listen to me at the same time. Or if you take one extra step, you can go to my website. You can learn more about the physical copy and get that copy sent to you in the mail for the Kickstarter Launch Formula, or just go on Amazon and type in Kickstarter Launch Formula. But if you want to get access to this audio version and you also want to get it for free, Audible is running a free trial where you get a free trial of Audible. And you can also get a free copy of the Kickstarter Launch Formula. Go and check out this link at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio. That link is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio. Again, that link is crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter audio. Without further ado, let's get into today's podcast episode and discover how this creator, inventor, and engineer was able to launch a six-figure crowdfunding campaign, raising more than $500,000, more than 800 backers. And it's coming up right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. We are lucky enough to speak with a creator who's been able to attract over $500,000 for his Indiegogo campaign box, the first free forever cloud storage alternative. And we are lucky enough to have the creator here today. Ehsan, great to meet you. Looking forward to talking about your product and looking forward to learning more about your launch here.
Hello. Hey everyone. Hey Salvador. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm Ehsan, co-founder of Functionland, and as you mentioned, we launched an Indiegogo campaign in 2021 around our product. So the product that we have is actually like a decentralized alternative to the cloud storage, because right now everyone is so hyped about AI. It was not the case back then. AI was a small thing, but I've been in AI since 2000, and I think it was 5. It was called neural network back then, like not a hot thing. And the first problem that I was seeing in like since 2019 was the data storage, because a lot of data that we are now sending to these AI algorithms are being stored centrally, which means there will be these huge corporations that become the brains of the world. and nothing that you can do about it. Like when you use OpenAI, you are basically contributing to their algorithms without getting anything back. And you are on top of that, you are also paying subscriptions. So it's like a win-win for these AI companies. Uh, but like the future of
So
AI.
this is kind of like taking back control, right?
Exactly, exactly. Like the future that I foresee is a future that we take back the control of our data, which is basically the everyone call data the gold of digital age.
Hmm.
So we want to get back this gold from these mega corporations, or at least
Right.
participate in this business.
Okay. And then you think about it, I think most of my friends will have conversations like this over a cup of coffee, right? And it will kind of go nowhere. so,
I
so,
know.
but you've been able to actually execute and to develop a product, right? How long were you working on this before it really came out here?
We've been working on it. So before the Indiegogo campaign, it was like we worked on it for about a year, and now it's been 4 years that we've been working on it, and it's live now.
Wow, that's insane, man.
And as you said, Salvador, like the problem, this problem is very hard to tackle because like creating a data center, a central data center, that's $1 million cost business.
Hmm.
So just imagine wanting to bring this to people's home. It's very complex problem to solve.
Right, right. And in thinking about that, had you done products before? What has been your experience like there? Have you done companies before?
So I had a couple of B2B companies, not B2C actually, and this is a B2C company actually. But I used to like at the time, so I'm an immigrant to Canada. I immigrated to Canada about 10 years ago, and I started working at L'Oreal in the IT section of L'Oreal,
Hmm.
uh, and learned about the B2C aspects of the businesses. And yeah, like that's how I entered into the B2C. And then because of my experience in AI and data, uh, this was like a problem that I was discussing with my colleague, and then we decided to create a business.
Have you always been interested in starting your own companies and sort of being an entrepreneur, or is that something that, has more recently, caught your fancy?
No, when I was in my home country, Iran, like I used to have my own company. I started it back there. And yeah, like then I immigrated here. I started working for L'Oreal to gain experience. And but the start, it was not something that we planned. It was just we saw that the AI hype.
You fell in love with the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like the AI hype was just getting started at that time, and then we saw this as a problem.
Would you consider yourself to be a businessman, an inventor, a designer, an engineer? How would you label yourself?
I think I'm more on the engineering and the technical side, or I was back then at least. Like I have I've been in the coding and the business and the technical side of the things for more than 20 years actually.
Right.
But during like doing my own businesses, I've learned things about the business aspect as well.
What do you think is one thing that holds other engineers back from launching their own product? Is it the sheer scope of doing it? Is it the intimidation? Why do you think you have been able to do this when other people kind of shy away from doing something like that?
Well, I think two main things, at least that could be my blocker as well. So one is like as an engineer or a programmer, the one thing that you always think about is perfection. Like I want my code to work perfectly, and I won't launch it before that. But that's not how usually like the business people think. Like if even large corporations like Microsoft and Google, we always see that they launch a product before being there at a perfection.
Hmm.
So like having an MVP, like a minimal viable product, and then launch it. That's basically something that most technical people won't do. They want to have the ideal product. So that becomes a blocker in most of the times. And the other thing is, like as a technical person, you tend to go into details so much that you lose the
Mm,
focus of the North Star, like you lose the focus of the bigger picture.
right.
So that usually also becomes a blocker for a lot of technical people to become founders.
So it's about having this balance, right? This balance
Exactly,
between
exactly.
perfectionism and
Zooming in
execution.
and zooming out.
Right, right. Well said, well said. Well, you certainly have been able to execute here. Out of curiosity, how did you come across Indiegogo and crowdfunding? How did this kind of enter your radar?
So crowdfunding was something that we wanted to do because we didn't want the business to be from the start to be VC funded. We wanted it to be like a grassroots product because it's all about just the opposite of centralization. So
Hmm.
grassroots was an obvious path for it. And actually, initially, we didn't go with Indiegogo. We planned everything on Kickstarter, which is another crowdfunding campaign. So
Hmm.
we designed the pages, we designed the ads, we designed the messaging, everything based on a Kickstarter campaign. We even set the launch date,
Hmm.
announced it. Everything was okay because we've been in contact with Kickstarter like before the launch for a couple of months, and everything looked okay. But just actually one day before the launch, Kickstarter told us that we can't launch on Kickstarter because it's a decentralized blockchain project. And
Oh man,
yeah, I don't know if they changed the anything since then, but yeah, at that time they didn't allow us to launch, and
that's
it was
insane. Yeah,
exactly it was a mess for us. So
yeah. I think that their tech stack was built on blockchain as well for a period of time. So that's insane that they would say that. But
exactly, because blockchain is not like the mindset back then was blockchain equals crypto equals shitcoins. So
yeah,
that I think that was the mindset.
ICOs, all that. Yeah.
But fortunately, we contacted Indiegogo team. They were very helpful and supportive, and we in a quick 1 day transition, we worked actually 24 hours, the whole team, which was actually 10 people working on it at that time,
Hmm.
and switched everything from Kickstarter to Indiegogo.
So you've had this major experience, right? You're now gearing up to the launch of the Indiegogo. What's kind of going through your mind the night before you went live with this campaign? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
So the main stress was uh, what to expect in the first few hours, because from like the talks that we have with Indiegogo team with a couple of other campaign managers, the issue is if you can't get it hyped or running in the first few hours, it probably gonna die. So you can't sustain it. So we planned a lot uh, to ensure that the first few hours are a success, and
Hmm.
it was like actually a 6 month planning around that. So before that, like we were launching these ads, gathering emails of people who were interested,
Hmm.
and that actually running ads was also a very hard thing for us back then. Right now, like Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, they are relaxed on crypto and blockchain projects. But back then, they had this specific limitations that you couldn't mention anything about blockchain, crypto, nothing. So
Right.
we had to stay away from those words and specifically, like focus on the hardware side, which
Hmm.
actually it was like not advertising a major part of our product.
And it looks beautiful. I mean, I'm looking down the screen here. You got some really cool graphics. It looks very well built. Clearly, a lot of effort has gone into the engineering and the design. So it looks awesome.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, like the design actually. So on the page, on the Indiegogo page, there are two designs. The first design, which is more like edgy, that was what came out of our technical mindsets. Then we worked with a very famous designer, Yves Behar, who designed products for Microsoft and Apple too. And we redesigned it to become more, like a consumer-centric product.
Yeah, it's almost kind of modular in that way. You can add different towers. You have the hub, the base, and the grid. Really cool.
Exactly, like like the idea was to create a form factor, so not like just a single tasked tower, but a
Right.
form factor for like a computer that you can add modular CPUs, GPUs, storage. Even like we had this idea of adding a router tower. Still,
Hmm.
these towerish modular thing is in progress. So we are
Right.
now we launched part of it, but not the whole thing yet.
So you decide to go live. You're live on Indiegogo. Walk me through the first week. What was that like? Finally having your product out there. What was the response like?
So the first week response was amazing, and I think that was due to the planning that our team did. Actually, one other thing that I just remembered was uh, I don't want to name them, but there was this agency that we worked with, and we spent a lot of money with them, and they were supposed to help us in creating the pages, creating the ads, and everything. And they did a very bad job. So,
Oof.
because I think the problem was their mind was more into non-tech products, and our
Right.
product was a very techy product. So, for example, they had an image of our hardware, which is like an electronic gadget, in the middle of the water on a stone. It's like you can advertise a sunscreen cream with that, but probably not a tech product.
Right. Right.
So and a lot of messaging and stuff. So what we did was we gathered our own team of like of content writers, journalists from Wall Street Journal, actually, like a lot of experienced people. We redesigned the ads, we redesigned the images, we redesigned the messaging, and then we launched, like prior to the campaign going live, we launched ads, we gathered emails of interested people. And in the first few hours, and we also, spoke to our partners, a lot of, like well-known partners like Fuse Project, Protocol Labs. And in the first few hours, what we did was, like we diverted all traffic to all of the sources that we had to the Indiegogo page.
Mm.
And I think that was, like that was a good thing to do, because everyone who opened our website, who opened an ad, like everything was directing to the Indiegogo page.
Yeah. It says here on your page you guys were funded in 5 minutes. Is that true?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Like it was a very like we actually in the first day I think we had about $100,000 of sales.
Wow. Crushing it.
Yes, it was a very good success for us. And yeah, as I said, I think it was due to the planning that we had. Like the strategy of directing everything to the Indiegogo page. Those things worked out.
Right, right. Well, congratulations on that. I think that's insane. And anyone who's listening, I'm sure, kind of hears that number and it sounds, amazing that you can really go from idea to having a full-fledged product to getting it funded. I think that's pretty cool when it comes to that. If you're worried about the fulfillment and shipping part of your Kickstarter campaign when it comes to getting out all those perks and rewards to your backers, rest assured I've put together a complete Kickstarter fulfillment and shipping checklist for you, and it's free. This is sponsored by the folks at Fulfillrite, and they thought that you should have this checklist as part of your arsenal going into a crowdfunding campaign. If you want to get instant access to this checklist and it's free, you can go to fulfillrite.com/checklist. Again, that is fulfillrite.com/checklist, fulfillrite.com/checklist. Just go to that link and you can download it immediately. Do you have any advice for any other creators out there that are trying to launch something new? Any things you would take away from that, or advice that you'd have for them?
So one thing I have is, like if you want to launch something, it's probably best if you yourself do it instead of, like paying agencies. like from my experience, uh, anything that we did in-house had a higher quality. Or if you want to work with an agency or someone, just make sure that like they are in the
You've done your homework. Yeah.
and like the thing is, an agency might be very good for a specific type of product. So make sure that they are experienced in your specific type of product. If it's like a tech product, a non-tech product, like uh, just ensure that they know what they are facing.
Right. Right. Well said.
So yeah, like that's basically I think the most important part, because from there you pretty much figure out everything, and that's okay if like in the beginning we did a lot of like research on similar projects uh, that went live on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and other crowdfunding platforms. So we had an idea of how to design things, how to design the messaging, because that's the most important thing.
I think one of the things that really stands out to me as well about your page is just all of the PR and the press and the reviews you've been able to get for this. I mean, that in and of itself is very impressive. Do you have any insight into ways to make that easier? Because I think a lot of people do struggle with that.
Yeah, like the main thing is, like having strong partners, and that's what helped us. Like all the PRs that you see and the reviews, they came because we had some strong partners. So I think at least try to contact some of the people or companies that are in the area that you want to launch the product. Just maybe even like some influencers who are okay to work with you in the beginning. A lot of them are like are just okay to not get paid upfront, and like probably like just work with you as a partner.
Right.
And that's
Right.
what we did, because we didn't have much funding in the beginning to start with. Like we had a very limited funding, and as you know, hardware products are very expensive even to prototype.
Mm,
So we kept most of the funding on the product.
right.
And yeah, like all of the things that you see, the press release, everything was mainly through our partners, like help of them. And that's how it got started.
So, I mean, you have a kind of a different story, I think, than others in that you're really pioneering a new space, and that's being able to kind of have more control over your data, right? But also utilizing these new blockchain technologies and really interesting engineering inside it. What's been the most rewarding piece for you? Has it been having more people adopt this technology? Has it been the sales? Has it been, working with your team? What do you feel like has been the most rewarding part of this experience?
So obviously, like as a founder, seeing more sales is rewarding. But for me, the main thing was working with all of these bright minds along the way. Like as I mentioned, we created a team of very experienced people and very experienced partners, and just sitting with these experienced people and talking to them was I think rewarding, because I learned a lot during this process. Like uh, one of the people that you see, for example, Yves Behar on the page, he's the most famous industrial designer in the world. Like even a lot of articles on Forbes mention him as the most influential designer. Or Sean Neff, who initiated and marketed brands for Kylie Jenner, actually.
Uh-huh.
A lot of well-known, like brands that he launched now like made Forbes, for example, to mention him as the brand whisperer. So just meeting with these people and learning from them was I think one of the most rewarding parts.
And I think that's such a huge learning lesson as well, which is that business and creating new products is really a team sport, right? So many people that are just kind of getting started, we think it's an individual sport where we're plowing forward and getting invention out there, but it's really about assembling a team of people that can bring this vision to life.
Exactly. The thing is, like doing everything yourself, and actually you brought it up. Like as most programmers and technical people, engineers, they like to do things themselves, and I did as well. Like I liked to do things myself, because like planning is easier when you do things yourself. But having something as large as an Indiegogo platform with a complex product, that's not something that you can do because it needs marketing expertise. It needs a specifically crowdfunding expertise. Product is a beast of its own. So it has different aspects, and creating a team that can tackle each aspect with experience, that's, I think, the key to the success. And
Well said.
a
Yeah.
lot of people, like they don't go after experienced people because they think, okay, we don't have the funding or money to pay these people and they are expensive. But the thing is, when you talk to them, if they like the idea, a lot of them are okay to work with you as partners instead of
Mhm.
like as contractors.
What's been the experience like after this campaign? Have you been developing the product? What's kind of been the experience like after crowdfunding for you?
So the community that we got from the crowdfunding was a very good community, actually, very supportive. We with some of them, I've been in contact, in close contact actually for years now, to like to get their feedbacks. So from the community that we gathered the feedbacks of the community. Even we met with some of them through Zoom calls, like to really hear the story, why they purchased the product, to hear like the pain points that they have in using the product,
Hmm.
and fine tune the product based on the feedbacks that we got over the years. And yeah, like so that's like right now we are still fine tuning because as you know, like it's a very complex product on the edge.
Hmm.
So it's still like the interfaces of the apps and everything needs more work.
Right.
So that's what we are right now.
One of the things that I see is crowdfunding kind of being like a launching point or a jumping off point. And it looks like you've been able to get really just some incredible accolades when it comes to your investors. I mean, you have Pre-Seeds, Techstars, you have some other great VCs which have been participating, it looks like, in your company. Um, what is their kind of reaction to crowdfunding? Are they skeptical of it? Is it something they find exciting? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Actually, a lot of these VCs, like tech stores and others that you see on the page, we updated it because they joined after they saw the success of crowdfunding. So I think that's a benefit of crowdfunding. If you can do something that is grassrooted and people see, or these VCs see that it's a success and there is demand for it, that's a market validation for them to jump on board. So
Mhm.
yeah, like I think that crowdfunding can act as a market validation, but
Right.
just to be transparent, I think there was one mistake that we did, and the mistake that we did was we could get more orders, so we could extend the crowdfunding and like keep it going, but we stopped it. And there was a reason that we did that, but I think if you can avoid stopping the things, like stopping the wheel when it's rolling,
Hmm.
that can make things easier for you down the road. Because once the wheel is stopped, making it turn again, it needs extra force.
Right. It's like building momentum all over again.
Exactly. When the momentum is built, just ride on it and not stop it. For us, because again, I think that's because of my technical mindset and probably like
Perfectionism.
perfectionism. Yeah, we stopped it because we wanted to make sure that we can deliver the orders that we have. And at the time, like although the product initially was based on a chip named Raspberry Pi. Probably
Right.
a lot of listeners here heard of it. And the Raspberry Pi Foundation, they told us that they could deliver 1,000 orders easily. But at the time, it was like late 2021, there was a chip shortage in the world. And the Raspberry Pi told us that they can't even deliver 100 orders.
Mm.
So we stopped the orders. We had to redesign the whole product off from Raspberry Pi to our own custom design chip.
Right.
to make sure that we can deliver. That also added extra cost, like on us. But yeah, like just make sure you have plan B for your product in case something similar happens, specifically for tech products that are mainly based on these off-the-shelf products.
Well said. Well said. And I think you've been plowing through those obstacles as they've been coming up every single time. So great work on that. Where can people go to learn more about your Indiegogo and also learn more about your website? Where can they go to learn more about that?
So the Indiegogo, the best place is actually Indiegogo page itself because it's still public and live. If you go to indiegogo.com and search for Functionland box, that's the product. Like actually initially it was named Box, and then we changed it to Blocks because Box.com said that the name might be confusing. So Indiegogo page is the best place, and for our product and the developments that we did after that, the website is fx.land, and if you Google Functionland, actually all the website, the information comes up.
Very cool. So I'll make sure to link that up in the show notes. And first thing I want to say is, hearing about your story, immigrating to Canada, but also, building multiple companies, having to combat that horrible experience of Kickstarter and bringing your project to Indiegogo and then growing it and having to just push through obstacles. I do think it's quite inspirational. But my final question for you would be, and we can end on this note, either if you've heard a quote that you like, a word of encouragement for other creators out there, a final tip about crowdfunding, or even a book recommendation, any of those, and we can end on that note.
So I think, crowdfunding is something very personal. So there is not something like a quote or advice that can cover everything for a founder, because it's like a personal path based on your experience, based on the product, and everyone must explore it. Whatever I can say, when you enter this path, you face a lot of issues, a lot of problems that are unexpected. So just expect that and enjoy the journey, enjoy the path, because I think that's the most rewarding part, that the whole journey, be it a success or an experience, just enjoy the path. Just make sure that you keep contact with these experienced people along the path and learn from it.
Well said. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. And good luck with your next launch here. And I'll make sure to link up everything in the show notes.
Thank you, Salvador, and thanks all the audience for giving me the time to explore the journey that I had.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. And if you missed it, my name is Salvador Briggman, and here at CrowdCrux and also the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast, we love to put out high quality education and information to help creators just like you on the path, on the journey. We all come from many different walks of life. We've had on creators who are flat broke and hit it big with the campaign. We've also had very successful business owners transition or launch new products and grow product lines with their existing companies. So very exciting to see a large plethora, to use a big word, of guests that are on this podcast. If you really believe in our mission, please take a second to give us a positive rating and review on iTunes. That means a lot. If you're on YouTube, you can give us a thumbs up or leave a positive and encouraging comment. And I do read the comments that we get every single day on YouTube. And finally, you can also write into me. If you go to crowdcrux.com, you can shoot me an email. But some of y'all come to me like, Sal, I get it. Like, I understand the process. I understand the mechanics a little bit when it comes to crowdfunding, but I really just need someone to hold my hand. I need a guide on this journey. I want to go and climb Mount Everest, but I do want to have a guide there with me who knows the path, who knows the way, who can make sure I have the straightest trail that's going to take me to success. Can you help me out? And for those people out there that are willing to invest a little bit in their own improvement and education and coaching, I do have an individual one-on-one coaching call option, which you can learn more about at the link I'm about to mention. This is really for those people that are serious. If you want to go out there, you want to dot your I's and cross your T's, but you also want to crush it and really want to have an experienced set of eyes looking at your campaign, your strategy, even if you're in the early days, you just want to make sure you're going down the right direction and you're doing this right, you definitely want to go and check out my individual one-on-one coaching call option at the link crowdcrux.com/coaching. That link will take you there. You can watch a really cool video that I put together for you on that page, learn more about my process, and you can book your individual one-on-one coaching call right there. Just fill out the form, tell me more about you, what you're working on, where your inspiration came from, and we can get that call scheduled ASAP at the link crowdcrux.com/coaching. If you are at all excited about this, do not hesitate. Do not wait. Do it now. Go to that link at crowdcrux.com/coaching and we can get that call scheduled. Looking forward to it. But again, and regardless, our mission here is to help creators and inventors. So thank you so much for showing up. Hopefully this has been useful for you, and I'll see you next time.